Hello friends, in last lecture we have discussed about the basics of the wire rope slings and understand how the sling construction affects the properties like tensile strength and flexibility. In today's lecture we will go into deep and understand more about the types of sling construction. What is basically Seale type, what is basically Warrington type, and what is the combined Seale and Warrington type and how they affect the properties. So let's start our lecture. Okay, so let's start our lecture. The first thing is the basics that you must know is the rope that is being used in wire rope sling, the steel wire rope that is being used in the wire rope sling. We just know the basics of that rope. The manufacturing process through which that wire rope is being produced is cold drawn. The drawing through the die, there are dies over there, different size die over there. We have to draw the wire rope in order to reduce the diameter. Now cold drawn means the drawing is operation, the pulling operation is done at the room temperature, and the other is the hot drawing. Hot drawing is also there. Basically at that the temperature is above the recrystallization temperature, but the product that comes from the cold drawn due to strain hardening having higher tensile strength, higher surface finish and higher tolerance ranges. Okay, so where there is requirement of heavy lifting, or there is requirement of high tensile strength, there is requirement of good surface finish, okay, then we go for the cold drawn process. That is why the wire that is being used in the wire rope slings are basically cold drawn wires. In the hot drawing wire, if the tolerance doesn't matter, the surface finish doesn't matter, then we go for the hot drawn. If you want to understand all these things in detail, I will start a lecture on material science. If you want a lecture on a dedicated lecture on material science, just write in the comment section. So now we stay on our topic. Now second thing is nominal diameter. The nominal diameter of the wire rope, from which, suppose these are the wire ropes 1 2 3, these are small wire ropes. Okay, the nominal diameter is available, that is being used in wire rope slings, range from 0.5 mm to 5 mm, 0.5 to 5 mm to 5 mm. And now there is a question comes in your mind, what exactly is nominal diameter? Suppose this is the basic wire rope sling, the cross section over there. Okay, the theoretical diameter, the smallest circle that is passing through all the strands, the smallest circle that is passing through all the strand is basically nominal diameter. This is basically nominal diameter. But in actual, when we go into deep and we generally this is all these things are nominal diameter is basically work on the paper only. When the real wire rope sling is being manufactured and we basically measure its diameter, then this diameter will be slightly above or below of this nominal diameter. Okay, because there are some tolerances over there, so that is called the actual diameter. Okay, the nominal diameter is the diameter that is produced in the drawing, that is mentioned in the drawing. Okay, now apart from that, the yield tensile strength of the wire rope, we are talking about a single wire rope. We are talking about a single wire rope that is being used in the strands. It varies from 1770 Newton per mm square, to 2160 Newton per mm square, depending upon the requirement that we are having. If we require more higher tensile strength, then we have to go for the more this tensile strength wire. If the tensile strength increases, the diameter of the wire also increases. So based upon the criteria of the tensile strength and flexibility, a particular selection is being made, particular construction is being made. And there is a protection of galvanized type or non-galvanized type. If the galvanized type protection basically protects from the rusting. Okay, so this is clear. Now we will move into the stand construction, how different types of stand construction, and how what is basically Seale type, what is basically Warrington type, and what is basically Seale and Warrington type. Before going into the further Seale type, Warrington type, Seale and Warrington type, first we understand if these are two wire ropes and these are in contact, wire rope 1 and wire rope 2. Okay, then this space I will fill it with some color. I is filling with this blue color. This space is called as valley, and this above space is called as crown. Okay, you must understand, the gap is called as valley and the above space is called as crown. It is clear. Now we will go into the Seale type. So first construction is Seale type. Here, if this is the Seale type construction, first of all we will count the number of wire rope slings are there. 1 2 3 wire ropes are there. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, again 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and there is a 1 in the center. Okay, so total wire, what is there? 1 in the center, 9 outside, and now in the 9 in the middle layer and 9 in the outer layer. Now this is basically Seale type. Why it is called a Seale type? I will tell you in detail how this wire rope sling is basically made. Now this is the central wire. This is the central wire. Okay. After center wire there is a layer of small circles. There is a layer of small circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. At the crown of the central wire there is a layer of the small circle. Okay, it is okay. Now at the value of the small circle, the big circles are sitting. The big other 9 circles are sitting. These are the value. So these big 9 circles are sitting. Okay. Okay. So what is basically Seale type? Seale type construction is that construction in which the inner stand, the wire of the inner stands are smaller in diameter. Okay, and they are exact. They are same. The wire in the inner stand are smaller in diameter and all are same, having the same diameter. And the outer circle and the outer layer, the outer circle or the outer layer also have same number of circles as in the inner circle. And basically this construction has two main features. First thing, inner layer and outer layer have same number of ropes. Okay. Second thing is that the outer layer stands in the valley of the inner layer. Okay, that is clear. And third is that the inner layer is having a smaller diameter and the outer layer is having bigger diameter. Okay, this is basically the construction of Seale type. Seale type, it is clear. The outer layer sits in the valley of the inner layer and the inner layer having a smaller diameter as compared to the outer layer. And there are total 19 circles. It is called as 19 Seale type wire rope. And how it is being written, 199. 1 is the center, 9 is the inner layer, and this is the outer layer. Okay, here basically same number of wire in each layer. This is the characteristic, same number of wire in each layer, and the inner layer is having a smaller diameter. The outer layer sits in the value of the inner layer. It is having excellent abrasion resistance and flexibility. So where there is abrasion resistance is there and there is flexibility requirement is there, then we go for the Seale type construction. Now the second type is basically Warrington type. It is called as Warrington type. Okay, we will understand this also. Here one is one circle, inner is one circle, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 circles, and then there is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They are basically 12 circles. So one circle is the central circle. After that, they are layer of having 6 circles. Then after that, there are level of having 12 circles. Matlab 12 wire ropes. It is like this. Okay. Now total is also again 16, 17, 18, 19. Now here what we have to see, the logic here is that outer layer is having both a smaller circle and both larger circle, outer layer. Okay, and inner layer is having same circle. It is having same circle, same. But outer layer has a combination of small circle and larger circle. Okay, it is clear. And this outer layer is having twice the number of wire ropes or the circles, if we call it as a circle, twice the number of wire as compared to the inner layer. Here this is having 6 and the outer is having 12. Okay, and here in the outer layer the smaller circle sits at the crown and the bigger circle sits in the valleys. These are the valleys. Okay, the smaller circle sits on the crown, and the smaller circle sits on the crown and the outer circle sits on the valleys. ये clear हो गया? So what are its characteristic? Its characteristic, outer layer is having both smaller circle and larger circle, and outer layer is having twice number of wire as inner circle. And one more thing, in the outer layer the smaller circle sits on the crown and the bigger circle sits in the valley. Okay, so these are having excellent abrasion resistance and high flexibility. These are also having excellent abrasion resistance and high flexibility, Warrington type. Okay, now Both case we have understand, both are having excellent abrasion resistance and flexibility. Now there is a third, the combination of both Warrington type and Seale type. There is a combination of both Warrington type and Seale type. इसमें क्या होता है, the first layer, अब here the first circle is 1, okay, then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14, then again 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. Okay, now you use already, you can judge here inner center 1, then middle circle 7 wire ropes, then it is having 14 and it is having 14. So here there is a jump twice. There is a jump twice. There is a number of circle like what is Warrington type. In Warrington type, the number of circles are basically twice. Okay. So in the first layer to second layer, the number of circles got twice. So it is basically a combination of both. Here first is basically Warrington type. First construction is basically Warrington type. If we see this first construction, this construction is basically, if we see first construction, this is Warrington type. Then there is second layer, it is basically Seale type, and the last construction is Seale type. Okay, where the number of circles are same, number of wire ropes are the same, it is basically having Seale type construction, and where the number of wire ropes double, it is having Warrington type construction. So here what happens, here the number of wire ropes increases, so it has basically excellent flexibility. And one more thing, as the number of wire ropes, it is having large number of wire. Okay, so basically it is having a large diameter rope. So here it is basically used where the large rope diameter is being used. Okay, and the flexibility is main criteria. So winch machines, in generally winch machine, there is a combination of Warrington and Seale type wire rope sling is generally used. Hope these all three types of slings are clear to you. Okay, now the core. Now we move to the core. The core is having either made up of the fiber or either made up of the steel. When it is made up of the fiber, then it is made up of either natural fiber or synthetic fiber. Okay, this, if something is made up of fiber, then it is having more basically flexibility. Okay, though it has value, whenever there is flexibility requirement, then we go for the fiber core. Okay, the central core, it is called as fiber. Now these क्या बोलते हैं, these fibers can't take up very much load, so not subjected to heavy loading. Okay, and resilient base for the stands. It's basically create a flexible base for the stands. So there the core can be either made up of fiber, and the core can be either made up of the steel. The fiber is basically natural or synthetic. Where there is a flexibility criteria over there, where the metal is the wire rope sling is not subjected to very heavy loading, then we go for the fiber core. Okay, how these are fiber core? Fiber say yarn, fiber from fiber to yarn to stand, and strands to rope. And generally these are basically organic material, natural or synthetic fiber. These are organic material. So here we generally use soak agent so that it basically not decay. Soak agent basically it has to be dipped in the soak agent so that it it prevents it from oxidation or further things. Okay, the second type of core is basically steel type of core. Steel wire arrangement as a strand जब हम use करते हैं, when we are using steel wire, then there are two basically cases are there. One is IWRC and the second is WSC. Okay, IWRC is independent wire rope construction, and what is basically WSC? WSC is simple wire rope construction. Okay, it is clear. WSC and IWRC, it is clear to you. Okay, and one more thing, WSC is basically used when we are having a smaller dia rope. When we are having a smaller dia rope, then the construction, steel wire rope construction is basically WSC. The core steel core is having WSC. And IWRC, when we want to lift heavy, okay, then we generally use, or the more diameter is large, then we generally go for independent wire rope construction. The changing from WSC IWRC increased tensile strength from 7%. Okay, if this is having 100 Newton per mm square, then it is having 107 Newton per mm square. Also, as the diameter of the wire rope increases, the weight also increases, and it is basically have some less flexibility, slightly less flexible. Okay, in heavy civil, we basically generally used IWRC, independent wire rope construction. Okay, so if we talk about the independent wire rope construction, it has basically abrasion resistance, fatigue resistance. It is used for heavy loading, high tensile strength, high strain, high cyclic loading. And देखिए, IWRC steel core is basically generally used where there is a pressure point. There is a continuous, particularly dedicated pressure point. Like we are lifting, we are using some spreader beam. Suppose there is a spreader beam over there, and this is the hook of the spreader beam, and we have there is a eye of the wire rope slings, and we are lifting it something up. Okay, then there is a continuous pressure on this. There is a continuous pressure at this point. So where there are pressure points are there, then we go for generally IWRC construction. Okay. Steel core give better support for the strand. ठीक है, basically whenever we are using the steel core, it gives better support. The steel wire, the wire rope sling is able to retain its shapes. I already told you now, because whenever there is a pressure points are there, the wire rope slings try to फैलने का कोशिश करता है, try to expand. But if you are using IWRC, then it provides better stability to that. It gives better support for the stand. So rope retaining its shape, and there is a better load distribution in individual wire in the case of IWRC construction. Okay, and as there is a, these are wire rope slings having friction between them. If the friction increases much more, if the friction increases much, then their flexibility decreases. So we generally reduce, in order to reduce internal friction, protection against corrosion, lubricants are generally used for the wire rope slings. In the next lecture, we will understand more, and we will understand about calculation. And if anybody want to have basics of material science, basics of SOM, then just message me. I will try to make videos on that topics also in the basic simple language, industrially oriented, not subject oriented, but it will be industry oriented. Hope you like this video. Keep supporting and subscribe. Thank you.